Hello friends, welcome to SYE Academy. In this video, we will going to discuss O in solid design principles, which is open closed principle, OCP. And it is easier to understand. O means open for extension and close means close for modification. So if you are writing any piece of code, which could be class, which could be a module, which could be a function, right? It should be open for extension and close for modification. That means if you are extending any new behavior or if you are updating your code, if there is new project which is coming up, right? You should not be changing your existing code, which is already tested, deployed in production, right? The goal is safer evolution of system and fewer regression. What does regression means? Regression means test the code which is deployed to production again. This is called as a regression. I know, I mean, if you are thinking from software engineer point of view, then we always do regression testing after every change, right? I know I can understand this feeling. Most of the time we are not following OCP, right? I know sometimes we need to do OCP, despite of the fact that we are following OCP, sometimes we need to run regression because we are modifying the behaviors. So we do sanity of our whole project. So that's a different case. But please note, if you are required to do regression testing again and again, that means you are not following open close principle. Why OCP matters? Your question could be this: it avoids breaking existing code when adding new features. So, what people are worried, product managers, CEOs, senior folks are worried whenever they are giving new features to their development team, what they do, they break previous features. And also, if they do not break, then there is a long QA cycle where testing goes on for months, right? Or weeks just to test the feature. So if you are following OCP, that means you don't need to change any existing code and you can trust your code. You can test the new behavior and you can trust that old behavior will be working fine. It reduces regression bugs. Please note it just reduces. It does not mean it can eliminate regression bugs totally. Again, repeating what is regression. Regression means doing sanity of your whole project again, right? That's called as a regression testing and it is done after unit testing is done, right? It makes systems adaptable to new requirements. If new requirements are coming up, you can keep on adding up, right? I will give few examples also, and without breaking any previous feature. The senior folks, engineering manager or VP, if they have written code which is following OCP, then they can trust that if they are adding new features, then previous code will not be broken. It encourages reusable extraction and plugin style design. It is easier to follow abstraction and one code will be independent of another code. Is it high coupling or low coupling? Mention in the comments. I explained coupling in the previous lecture. What is the intuition? You can take one example of a plug socket. So whenever you build your house, you build wall sockets, right? And they are built for most of the time forever, right? Or if not forever, then at least for a decade if you are doing any changes in your wall. So let's say there are some sockets in your wall which is near your bed, or some power socket maybe at some other place where you are turning on your AC, right? So please note that if you need any new connection, then what you do, you buy plugs or you buy new chargers, or some modifying plugs are also coming up which keeps on adding up here, right, on your previous plugins. You what you never do, you don't break your wall, right? If there is a new type C charger or new charger developed by, let's say, Apple, then you don't break your wall, you just keep on changing the adapters. That's the principle of open close principle. So WebSocket is closed for modification. You don't rebuild your house wiring again and again, but it's open for extension. You can plug in new devices, adapters, chargers, and code will work in the same. Let me give you one example which is violating open close principle. As you can see, this is a class which is calculating area. And as the class is written in such a way that if the shape is circle, then it is calculated like this, right? Pi r square. And if it is rectangle, then it is length into breadth, or length into width. The problem with this code, friends, is if you are adding a new shape, you need to add another else if, then another else if. That means you are keep on breaking this area calculator class. What will be the impact of this? The impact is you need to do sanity again, you need to done regression. Also, if you have written your, let's say, test cases for this class, you need to modify those test cases again and again. So this is the principle which is breaking open close principle. What is the solution for this? Think about it, pause this video, think about it. The solution always lies in right. So create an interface which is shape, and it has double area method, right? And you can create a class which implement shape, and there is radius, circle, or double area, because this is specific to circle. That's why these parameters are mentioned here, and you can just write your code accordingly. And similarly, if you want to write for rectangle, you can just write similar methods. That means you can have length into breadth in area, right? And similarly, if you have rhombus, you can write another class. And if you have uh, uh, maybe parallelogram, or maybe any type of shape, you can extend another class. Please, friends, don't get confused. For the sake of simplicity, I have written everything here. It does not mean that all these are present in the same file, right? They could be present in different file. Even if they are present in the same file, then please note Java compiler make dot class files, right? So these files, that means circle, rectangle, are independent of one another, and usually they are written in different classes. So that's how you can write the open close principle. Why again repeating the same thing? See, circle area will never change, so this will remain like this forever. Or even if it changes, it will be in decades, right? Or let's say even if it is changing, let's take that example, even if the circle area is changed due to any reason, then at least rectangle area is not changed. So you just need to update your circle class test cases, and you need to do regression on circle. You don't need to do regression on rectangle, or maybe 100 other shapes if they are present. So that's how it is mentioned. If you are adding a triangle, just create another class which implements shape interface, and there is no need to change area calculator. It exists in the same. Let me give you a few real world examples. In UI frameworks, adding new buttons and controls without changing framework core is an example of open close principle, where you keep on adding new buttons without changing the framework core. In payment gateways, you can take an example. Let's say PayPal and Stripe. They implement payment processor without implementing another code. Just to give you another example, the code is written in such a way that if new currency is coming up, let's say Bitcoin, right? Or maybe cryptocurrency, then it will not impact your credit card flows, or debit card flows, or net banking, or maybe cash on delivery. So that's how code is built. You keep on adding new payment processors. In Spring Boot also, you can add new beans via configuration which without touching the core framework. How you can achieve open close principle? If you have that question, the answer is polymorphism. That means interfaces and abstract class. This is the only thing. Let me still read other things. Apply composition instead of giant conditions. So don't put any too many if else logic, right? You can use design patterns, which we will discuss, like a strategy pattern, factory pattern, decorator, observer, right? Which can help you in taking right decisions. Strategy means at the service layer, you take decision which implementation to call, and you can rely on dependency injection. Now, very important point is point number 8. Please, friends, avoid over abstraction. That means just for the sake of avoiding open close principle, do not create unnecessary interfaces. Sometimes what I have seen, there is one interface and there is only one class implementing that interface. There is no even second class present there. Unnecessarily, you are making code complex. It will impact your debugging, especially if there are production issues. You will start abusing maybe yourself. Why did I follow that principle? So friends, please note that the readability of the code is very important. Just don't follow interfaces or over abstraction for the sake of following it. Avoid misusing inheritance. I mean, unnecessarily you are writing the interfaces. For example, if it's a payment gateway, right, then in payment gateway you are implementing, let's say, SBI payment gateway, Visa, Mastercard, Bitcoin, keep on adding up, right? Despite of the fact that Bitcoin and Visa are totally different, right? Similarly, in case of, let's say, uh, animals, I start including birds also, right? This is an example of misusing inheritance, and it is totally incorrect. There should be balance. Abstract only when you foresee any valid variable points, right? One interview sound bit, since this is asked a lot of times in the interviews, you can read this and keep this in mind. OCP means I design modules so new features can be added via extension and not modification. I achieve this through interfaces, design patterns, and dependency injection, ensuring stability of tested code. If somebody is asking you OCP, you can give this answer and nobody will ask you any counter question. And if it is asked, let's say in your exams or somewhere, you if you write this, definitely marks. Quick questions for you where I want you to write answers in the comment section. Let's say just write like this, one yes, no, like this. Okay. So a class report printer has if else for PDF, CSV, Excel. A new format requires modifying the class. Is this OCP compliant? If it is following open close principle, write yes. If it is not following open close principle, write no. You add a new modification note. You add a new notification type, SMS, email, by creating a new notifier implementation without touching existing code. Does it follow OCP or not? Let's say you want to add a new notification, WhatsApp, and you are not required to modify the previous implementation. Does it follow OCP or not? That is the question. Third is a giant switch statement decides discount logic for silver, gold, platinum users. New tire, you need to add it, switch statement. Does it follow OCP or not? Write in the comment section. Let me quickly recap or remind you what we discussed in this lecture. It should be open for extension. That means you should be able to add new features easily with the use of interface, dependency injection, composition. It should be closed for modification. You should not be touching a stable code which has already gone live, right? It is achieved using interfaces, design patterns, and dependency injection, and it prevents regression and encourages scalable design where you can keep on adding code, right? And you can even eventually write different microservices also. So that's about open close principle. Friends, if you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment section. If you have any small doubt also and you want me to create a video on that lecture, just write in the comment section. That's all. Thank you.